My name is Emily and I'm 32 years old. I never thought I'd be the kind of woman to tell a story like this, but life has a way of surprising you in the most painful and twisted ways. For years I thought I had built the perfect marriage. My husband, Daniel, was charming, attentive in all the right moments, and he carried himself with that easy confidence that made people trust him. To the outside world, we were the couple that had it all. A beautiful house, steady jobs, and a love story that started back in college. But let me tell you something. Sometimes the love story you think is real is nothing more than a carefully crafted lie. And when I discovered the truth about Daniel, I didn't just cry or scream. I chose a different path. One that would make him face the kind of humiliation he deserved. Before I get deeper into this story, I want to pause for a second. To everyone listening right now, let me ask you, where are you watching from? Drop it in the comments. I love seeing how far this community of justice seekers reaches. And if you're new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button and join this growing community where betrayal always meets its punishment. Now, let's get back to Daniel. It started with little things. Subtle changes that most people might brush off. Daniel became more protective of his phone. He used to leave it on the kitchen counter without a second thought, but now it was always either in his pocket or flipped screen down on the table. Then came the late nights at work. At first I believed him. He worked in finance and long hours weren't unusual. But when those late nights started happening almost every other day, my gut told me something wasn't right. One evening I was folding laundry in the bedroom when his phone buzzed on the nightstand. He was in the shower. Normally I would never snoop. But that night, I don't know, maybe it was instinct, maybe it was fate. I picked up the phone and saw a preview of a message. Just 5 words, "Can't wait to see you." My heart stopped. My hands shook as I swiped the screen open. What I found was worse than any nightmare. Dozens of messages, each one filled with a kind of intimacy that should have been mine. Pictures, plans, sweet nothings. A whole second life unfolding right there in front of me. Her name was Sophie. She wasn't just some random fling. She was someone he had been seeing for months. My husband, the man who promised me loyalty, was living a double life, and in that moment the floor beneath me cracked. I confronted him that night. My voice trembled, my body shook, but my words cut sharp. "Daniel, who is Sophie?" The look on his face was one I'll never forget. Shock, fear, then a flash of anger, not at himself but at me for finding out. He stumbled through excuses, lies, half-baked apologies. But once you see the truth written in digital ink, there's no going back. For days I walked around in a fog. Do I leave him? Do I scream at Sophie? Do I tell the world? My heart was in pieces, but something inside me hardened. This wasn't just betrayal. This was humiliation. And I wasn't going to let it slide quietly. That's when the idea formed. Daniel had one weakness, one person in this world he both adored and feared disappointing. His mother, Margaret. She was a strong woman, traditional, with high expectations. She always told me she was proud that her son married me, a woman with dignity and loyalty. And suddenly I knew exactly what to do. I didn't rush it. I wanted this to be perfect. First, I gathered every shred of evidence. Screenshots of texts, saved photos, call logs, everything that painted the picture of Daniel's affair with Sophie. I didn't want there to be any doubt. Then I thought about how to deliver it. A confrontation face-to-face? Too messy. Posting online? Too risky. But sending it directly, privately to Margaret? That was the kind of strike that would leave no room for Daniel to twist the story. I remember sitting in front of my laptop one night, the folder of screenshots open. My finger hovered over the Attach Files button, my heart racing. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about justice. About making sure he could never hide behind his lies again. And in that moment I knew. Once I hit send, Daniel's perfect mask would shatter. I sat there, staring at the glowing screen, Daniel asleep in the next room. The evidence of his betrayal sat neatly in my draft email, addressed to the one woman whose opinion he valued most. My finger trembled over the mouse. Do I press send? Do I really drag his darkest secret into the light of his own mother's eyes? I took a deep breath, and with every ounce of betrayal fueling me, I made my choice. My finger hovered over the send button like it was a detonator, and in a way it was. This single click had the power to blow apart Daniel's carefully constructed lies, to rip away his perfect son image, and to turn his mother's pride into disappointment. I thought of all the nights I cried alone, of the way he looked me in the eyes and lied, of the moments I begged myself to believe he loved me still. That pain fueled me. With one steady breath I clicked. The email was gone. I sat there, frozen, the glow of the laptop screen reflecting on my face. I expected relief to wash over me instantly, but instead I felt this strange calm mixed with adrenaline. There was no turning back now. The next morning was unnervingly normal. Daniel kissed me on the cheek before leaving for work like nothing had happened, like he wasn't living two lives. But I noticed his phone buzz more than usual, and his expression changed with every glance at the screen. By noon I got the first sign that Margaret had received the email. My phone rang. Her name lit up the screen. I answered with a steady voice, though my heart raced. "Hello, Margaret." There was silence on the other end. Then her voice, sharp and trembling. "Emily, what is this? What have you sent me?" I explained calmly. I told her I loved her son once, but I couldn't allow his betrayal to be hidden. I told her I had proof that everything in that email was real, and that Daniel had been lying to us both. Her silence was heavy. Finally she spoke. "Come over this evening. Both of you. We're going to talk about this." I agreed, hiding the small smile tugging at my lips. The trap was set. That evening, Daniel walked into Margaret's house completely clueless. He thought it was just another family dinner. But the moment he stepped into the living room and saw his mother's face, his confidence cracked. Margaret sat in her armchair, the printed screenshots spread across the coffee table like evidence in a courtroom. Her eyes, usually warm with maternal pride, were icy and full of fury. "Daniel," she said, her voice low but cutting. "Sit." He glanced at me, panic flashing in his eyes. "What's going on?" I said nothing. I just sat calm, watching him fumble. Margaret picked up one of the printed messages and read it aloud. "I can't wait to see you again, Sophie. Last night was perfect." The color drained from Daniel's face. "Mom, it's not what it looks like." "Not what it looks like?" Margaret snapped. "You've humiliated your wife. You've humiliated me. After everything I taught you about honesty, loyalty, respect. This is what you've become." Daniel tried to deny it, then minimize it, then finally beg. But Margaret wasn't buying it. She turned to me and said, "Emily, I am so sorry. You deserved better than this. He's my son, but what he did is unforgivable." For once, Daniel had no defense. He sat there, red-faced, destroyed, caught between his mother's disappointment and my steady, silent gaze. That night was the beginning of the end for Daniel. Margaret didn't just scold him, she cut him off emotionally, refusing to defend him. To her friends, to family gatherings, she openly said she was ashamed of him. Daniel couldn't stand it. He relied on her approval like a lifeline, and now it was gone. Sophie, the affair partner, wanted nothing to do with the drama, and within weeks she disappeared from his life. I, on the other hand, found my strength growing every day. I filed for divorce and Margaret backed me up every step of the way. She even testified on my behalf during the proceedings when Daniel tried to contest certain assets. The humiliation of having his own mother side with me? That was a wound he would never recover from. People always ask me if revenge really makes you feel better. Let me tell you this. It doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you closure. Knowing that Daniel couldn't keep his secrets, that his mother saw the real man he was, that his perfect image shattered into pieces. That gave me a sense of justice nothing else could. Months later, I heard from mutual friends that Daniel was still struggling. He moved into a small apartment, isolated, trying to repair his relationship with Margaret but failing miserably. She never looked at him the same way again. As for me, I rebuilt my life. I found peace in knowing I had the courage to stand up for myself, to refuse to be humiliated in silence. I didn't just leave him, I exposed him. And that exposure was the punishment that fit his crime. So that's my story. I was betrayed, I was broken, but I rose stronger. And in the end, I didn't just get revenge on my cheating husband. I made sure the one person he never wanted to disappoint saw the truth for herself. To everyone listening, let this be a reminder. Betrayal may hurt, but silence hurts worse. Never be afraid to take back your power. And if you've made it this far, thank you for being part of this growing community of justice served. Don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story where betrayal meets its reckoning. As here, justice always finds its way.